There's a psychological phenomenon experts can't ignore. People who grew up in the 1970s possess a type of mental resilience that's almost extinct today. And the reason why will shock you. Picture this. You're 7 years old. Your mom sends you outside with one rule: be home before dark. No GPS, no phones, just you and complete freedom. This wasn't neglect. It was the secret ingredient that rewired an entire generation's brain. Neuroscientists have discovered something extraordinary. Those unsupervised hours building forts, settling disputes without adults, navigating neighborhood politics, they literally restructured neural pathways for problem solving. What we call executive function wasn't taught. It was forged in the woods behind your house. But here's where it gets interesting. Every afternoon you'd unlock an empty house with a key from under the flower pot. No panic, no fear. You'd make a snack, do homework, entertain yourself for hours. This daily ritual hardwired something powerful, an internal locus of control, the unshakable belief that you control your outcomes. Then came the boredom, hours of it, your mom's response. Go find something to do. No devices, no instant solutions, just you and that restless feeling until your brain generated something new. Studies now show this understimulation creates more active neural networks for creativity and innovation. The risks were real too. Climbing trees where falling meant consequences. Bike jumps that taught you the difference between thrilling and dangerous. You developed what psychologists call calibrated risk assessment, wisdom earned through experience, not fear. And the waiting. 7 days for your favorite show. Months for Christmas. This wasn't torture. It was training. Research proves people who learned delayed gratification have lower addiction rates, higher achievement, and stronger relationships. When you failed, and you did, no adults rushed in. You learned failure was feedback, not identity. You scraped your knees and got back on the bike. This created adults who ask, "What can I learn?" instead of spiraling into self-doubt. The 1970s generation is living proof. Maybe the best protection isn't preventing struggle, it's building the strength to navigate it alone. Understanding the psychology of people who grew up in the 1970s reveals something profound about human development. The 1970s childhood psychology wasn't just different, it was transformative. How growing up in the 70s shaped your mind, created psychological traits of 1970s kids that define resilience itself. The 70s generation mindset and resilience emerged from childhood experiences of the 1970s that seem almost radical today. This explains why 70s kids are independent and resilient in ways that puzzle modern researchers. Growing up in the 70s, Psychology Explained shows us that Gen X, this uniquely self-sufficient generation, wasn't shaped by what they were given, but by what they figured out on their own. Why Gen X is so resilient isn't a mystery, it's neuroscience. Those unsupervised afternoons, those boring Saturdays, those scraped knees, they weren't problems to solve. They were the solution itself. The childhood experiences of the 1970s created adults with quiet confidence, emotional self-regulation, and an unshakable belief in their own competence. So, if you're a 70s kid, you're not just nostalgic for simpler times. You're carrying neural wiring that's becoming increasingly rare. You're living proof that sometimes the best way to raise strong humans is to step back and let them discover their own strength. What's your strongest memory from growing up in the 70s? Drop it in the comments. Let's celebrate the generation that learned to thrive without instructions.